Hello everyone and welcome to IMRT Reviews, I'm RT, and today we are doing a spoiler review of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episodes 1 and 2. The Captain America trilogy is one of my favourite trilogies of all time. I absolutely love The Winter Soldier and Civil War. Captain America 1 does get a lot of love as well. And the WandaVision TV show blew me away, so I do have high hopes for this TV show. And so far, I am pretty happy about it. So let's get into the review. So in episode 1, Bucky and Sam are completely separate and we get to see the problems they've both been dealing with since Endgame. I really like the slow approach the first episode took, as it really takes its time to set up the conflicts and problems they've both been dealing with, and I think it adds a lot of depth to them and sets them up really well. We have Sam, who's dealing with family debt, the weight and burden of Captain America's shield, and systemic racism. And you have Bucky, who is dealing with the traumatic past of being the Winter Soldier, therapy sessions which are due to his pardon from the government, and making amends for his Winter Soldier past. Now straight away, I absolutely love this approach, as they feel like real people with real world problems, and that grounds the heroes, which makes it a lot easier for us to connect with them, relate with them, and then relate to the story, which makes it a lot more engaging and enjoyable for us. There was also a really cool action scene at the start of the episode where you see the Falcon doing the Falcon things, and you get to see George St. Pierre back as Batroc from, I think that's his name anyway, from the Winter Soldier. A nice little bit of connective tissue there. And it's pretty much what you'd expect. It's a big cinematic scene. I mean, yes, it's what you'd expect from a Disney production with the money they have. And it is a bit of fun. I enjoyed it. But the real core to this first episode was setting up the self-conflicts within these characters. The villain of the show seems to be a fanatic terrorist group that wants the world to go back to how it was when the blip happened. Now this ideology I do find extremely interesting, and I hope it's something they do explore more of as the show goes on, as it just completely fascinates me. Like, why do they want it to go back to when, you know, the blip happened? So awesome. I hope they explore that a lot more. And overall, this episode was a really good start. I like what they did with Bucky and Sam. I like the villain, the ideology there, and I like the direction overall so far. So I'm enjoying it. Now we go into episode 2. Now going into episode 2, the start of this episode really did catch me off guard, because we start to get to know the new Captain America, which a lot of people didn't like at the end of the last episode of his wink and everything. But I was like, you know what? I'll be patient. Let's see what he's about. And we find out straight away. We learn about his military history, his physical attributes, what he's done in combat, the medals he's had, which was really cool and something I was not expecting. And it seems to be like they're trying to build him up to be quite likable at the start. And I quite like that. That's not the approach that I thought they were going to take. I thought they were going to make him really dislikable and be quite cliche with it. And after that, Sam and Bucky meet up. And Bucky doesn't seem to be very happy with Sam for giving up Captain America's shield, which we'll get onto later on. But these two, they go off to, I can't remember where, to fight this group who turn out to be super soldiers, which I don't know how I feel about just yet. And then something else happened that I didn't expect. The new Captain America had been tracking Red Wing, and him and his partner come down to help Bucky and Sam fight these new super soldiers. Now this action scene I didn't really enjoy. It cut quite a lot. I couldn't really see what was going on. The Falcon CGI was a bit meh. I could see it was CGI. It kind of took me out of the scene. And the choreography overall wasn't that great. I mean, the people holding on to Bucky's arm, it looked like they were barely holding on to him. And I was like, why is Bucky not breaking out of that the entire time? But the dialogue between Bucky and Sam was really enjoyable. And that was the only redeeming factor to that fight scene, really. Everything between Sam and Bucky in this show so far has been great. Especially my favourite scene so far, which is the therapy session with Sam and Bucky. Because in this session, they talk about their feelings. Like, superheroes talking about feelings, that's awesome. That is awesome. And, you know, it will help other people to talk about their feelings as well, which is great. But it shows there is a friendship here. They're not just masculine, staring contest people. There is a friendship there. And there's a vulnerability to both of them as well, which does once again ground them and continue that, you know, relatability to them from the first episode, which I have really enjoyed. And it's something WandaVision did extremely well as well. So I think it's going to be a common theme in these Marvel shows, to really ground these heroes and let us relate to them, really. These Marvel shows so far have delivered incredible moments incredible character interactions that have made these characters a lot more real and layered, and that's something I've really enjoyed more than the action and more than anything else, and I hope they do continue with it. My only issues with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier so far is the action. It hasn't been shot very well, and it all seems very disposable and like we've seen it before. We need something new, and it needs to be well choreographed, better shot. A beautiful wide angle shot would be nice, and cut bit better, because the action in the first episode was decent, but in the second episode it was quite poor. The episode ends with new Captain America telling Bucky and Sam to stay out of his way. Now, everything I said at the start about me thinking quite likeable, that was gone. That was gone. You respect Bucky and Sam. You don't tell them to stay out of your way. If they get in your way, you need to move out of their way. Simples. Leave Bucky and Sam alone. So, immediately disliked him. Disliked him. Everything from the start, gone. But it also introduced Zemo from Civil War, which I'm excited for. I love Daniel Bruhl as an actor, and I'm excited to see what they do with him. Hopefully he's in episode 3 and they don't just skip a bit. So I'm excited. I'm extremely excited. And let's get into my show summary. Overall, I have really been enjoying the show. I love Bucky and Sam, even though I think Sam's a little bit useless sometimes when you're in a universe where Iron Man and the War Machine exist. But I love them both, and I think this show, if the action improves, has the potential to become great. Not just good, but great. So, people, let me know what you think of the show, and if you have liked this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.